that comes out of Whitmire and then eventually crossing back into portions of Lauren and Union County. But this is going to continue heading east-northeast, heading towards areas right around northwest Fairfield County. So if you live anywhere in the areas from, say, Cool Branch all the way down to conservatively north of Lake Monticello, just be aware that this is a storm that is currently moving. Winds and what we're looking at, and it's very prevalent right now, green indicates the winds heading away, heading towards the radar. The red is what we indicate with the winds heading away from the radar. And this is the spin that we look at. So this is the area of circulation. It's a broad circulation, but it would put it right here as it's maybe right now crossing over 176. So if you're in Whitmire, you should already be in your tornado shelter or taking your tornado precautions immediately. And anywhere from Whitmire and just going straight across from 176 to Fairfield Road in Fairfield County, you should be taking your tornado precautions now. Velocity, the wind speeds right now being reported out of radar just to the west of Whitmire is about 15 to 17 miles an hour. So that is at least a good sign. And then the winds coming away about 12. So even though on radar it looks very pronounced, it's still a tornado warning. Again, the National Weather Service, the specific information we have put on it is this will be moving now at 50 miles an hour. So from Whitmire, from basically Highway 176 all the way to the north end of Fairfield Road, this entire area of northern Newberry and then extreme northwestern Fairfield County, you should take your tornado precautions right now. There is the possibility of quarter-inch hail, and let me see if we have any hail. Well, it's showing a little bit of hail, so there could be some hail that will be coming through. Look, about half an inch size hail, so you're talking just around a nickel size hail is being reported on the back end of it. So in Whitmire, you may be experiencing some of that hail right now. No other indications of hail, but nevertheless, any kind of hail, we know here in South Carolina, we don't deal with hail at all. So nickel is definitely going to put a dent in your car. So if you live anywhere from Whitmire all the way across to Cool Branch in Fairfield County, you should go ahead and take your tornado precautions as the National Weather Service still continues this cell. Now, according to radar, and I would agree with it wholeheartedly, is that it looks like it's just on top of Whitmire. You can see the storm. There's the center of the storm. This is called an inflow notch. Whenever you see a little bit of a groove from the reflectivity, and reflectivity is nothing more than just what it's looking at as far as rain or precipitation. There's a little bit of an inflow notch right here, just in the north side of town. And when we take a look at velocity, that's where we look at the potential of a possible tornado. As you can see, it's still a very broad circulation. The greens going in towards the radar, which this radar is at the airport, and then red heading away from the radar. So if I'm going to put a center point of where this storm would be, at this point I would put it just about at or just north of 176. So anywhere from Whitmire crossing over to Goshen Hill and Delta. Let me see if I can get the road networks on this. But again, it's anywhere if you live from Whitmire all the way across to northwest Fairfield County. Go ahead and take your tornado precautions at this point. This is the center of circulation. It is either right on top of or just crossing over 176 in Whitmire. This is the direction it's moving. Put a time track on this. Again, it's moving generally to the east. East-northeast at about 50 miles an hour. So its current position right now, putting right over Whitmire. If it goes in this direction over the next 30 minutes, should be go ahead and take your tornado precautions. At Cool Branch at about 5:20. I'd say a little bit earlier than that. This may actually start kicking up the winds by about 5:10 to 5:12. So next 5 to 7 minutes, the winds will start picking up in Cool Branch. And then as far south as Douglas, maybe to the northern end of Lake Monticello, we may start getting the winds kick up in about 10 to 15 minutes. But the primary threat right now is going to be from Whitmire straight across to Cool Branch. Updates from the National Weather Service on it. They still to continue it. A radar indicated tornado. And this again is going to be the center point and just to take a look at hail to see if we've got significant hail, and now we do. So this is definitely going to be, although this is, we're talking about Union County, we're still talking about this being affecting, after Whitmire, affecting areas of the northwest portion of Fairfield County. According to this, we're looking at hail. I wouldn't be surprised if it's showing me 1.5 inches. Close enough. So we're talking about golf ball to almost ping pong size hail that's already been radar indicated before you get to 176. So the position of the storm right now, although it is north of Whitmire, the trajectory, again, you're looking at this heading towards Cold Branch. So right in this area here, I would go ahead and take your tornado precautions, Cool Branch all the way down to just west of Douglas, maybe north of Lake Monticello. Again, radar indicated. That's a very important thing to understand. This is a radar indicated tornado. We have not got confirmation if there's a tornado or not, but look at this very pronounced little hole. This is an inflow notch. A lot of moist air is getting sucked in to the mesocyclone, basically the spinning of the storm. As it continues to feed there on the back end, a lot of dry air comes in. So basically you've got winds that are spinning around on top of each other, and if that column lifts up, now you have a tornado. We haven't even gotten a report of a funnel cloud, so there's no way to be certain at this point, at least from observation from us and the National Weather Center, if there's a tornado. But there is going to be very strong winds based on storm relative velocity, and this just updated. And I'll tell you, I don't like the way it looks because those winds look pretty stout. Let's see, 56 mile an hour winds, that's heading towards the radar, and 43. So you're talking about the spin coming just east of 176. The winds that are coming from the north and then diving down to the southeast at about 56 miles an hour. The winds that are wrapping around it are about 40 to 43 miles an hour. That's why, again, very important, northwest portions of Fairfield County, Feasterville, Cool Branch, this is heading your way, and put a track on that. Again, moving at about 50 miles an hour. So you're looking at this time, Cool Branch, about 515, Feasterville. If this does not head towards you, you're definitely going to get the wind impact where you're going to have wind gusts of at least 50, 60 miles an hour. So you're talking about Feasterville probably in the tune of about 515 to 518. Again, this is a storm motion as it continues to move. And put the reflectivity back on just to see its current motion. And if you notice, the one thing that we always look at when it comes to radar, and again, on radar, we look at multiple things, but if you notice, as it's been crossing over 176, that impendage, that little hook, that little cutoff, right over there, that's what we continue to watch, because this is where we're going to be watching as it continues to move. Now, the National Weather Service in Greensville, Spartanburg is reporting the ones for Chester and Union counties. That's the one that they're indicating. Let me just look at their information on here, because this is right on the edge of where the Columbia Metropolitan Airport and the Greensville Spartanburg Airport National Weather Services have to work, because it's right along each of their line, indicating a tornado with a possibility of tornado with golf ball size hail indicated, moving generally east at about 50 miles an hour. Boy, I tell you, if there was ever a very odd looking, I mean, look at that. That is one big donut right in the middle. This is coming from, okay, this is our Columbia radar. And on velocity hasn't picked up yet, but again, let me just go back and forth. Big donut hole. Okay, so there's hardly any rain right there. This is the area of concern I would be looking at. On velocity, there's the hole, there's the winds. So if there was going to be a funnel cloud or an actual confirmed tornado, it would be somewhere in this area. And just to look at its storm motion. And again, the reason why we want to make sure that everyone is paying attention, like I understand this is a small area of Fairfield County and Newberry, but we have people who live up here, and they have to make sure that they're well aware of what's coming through. It is shifted a little bit more east now. So here's a storm. if you're in Cool Branch and Feasterville, if you have not taken your tornado precautions yet, do it now. Now, I've talked to scores of kids over in Fairfield County. So kids, listen to me. Remember what we talked about. 1, just stay calm. I know, it's a little bit scary and it's getting windy outside. 2, if you got a baseball helmet, a softball helmet, a football helmet, any kind of helmet, I know you're gonna look like a dork. Put it on because it's gonna protect your head in case there's things flying around. Get your tennis shoes on. Get some gloves on, okay? So this way you have protection on your hands and feet. And get into the most center portion of your home. Keep as far away from the windows and the outside doors as much as possible. Put as many walls around you, so this way if there's any stuff flying around outside and it hits the outside of the house, well, you're not that close to the window, you're more inside being protected. Again, we're talking about, it's 512 now, 518 potential to Cool Branch and 519 to Festerville. So this is the area that we're going to be watching. If you live pretty much from Woodward all the way down to Winsboro along Fairfield Road, just watch the weather right now. This is going to be more on the focus far west. So anywhere towards the county line in Winsboro and then along on north of 200 Road, that's the area you need to watch right now because this is where the storm is moving through. Velocity is still showing a very pronounced speed, and this is very important to understand that by radar and radar alone, we're looking at wind speeds that are, see, 47 and 51. So the winds that are coming into Feasterville are roughly about 50 miles an hour coming straight out of the west. The winds in Cool Branch are roughly about 50 miles an hour, but those winds are coming out of the southeast. That's how we're going to have the winds start to spin around. And let me just check on the update from our National Weather Service in Columbia on the update on the tornado. Still continue the tornado. Tornado with quarter-size hail, still moving roughly east at 50 miles an hour. The hail dimensions are starting to go down, which is a good thing, but still, those areas, and let me pull that up, the areas around, again, from in the areas of Cool Branch, that's the hail core, and it's reporting right now roughly an inch. Yeah, so you're talking about a golf ball size hail. I'm going to look over the information from the National Weather Service. Neither the Spartanburg office or the Columbia office have indicated anything as far as an actual confirmed tornado, but they still continue the tornado warning for Fairfield and Newberry County. It's still moving very quickly to the east at about 50 miles an hour. So the two things that we know that we're going to be seeing out of this as we get into Cool Branch, as we cross over the river, is going to be, no doubt, 60 mile an hour winds sustained, as well as golf ball size hail. The rain shaft is now starting to get into the areas of extreme northwestern Newberry County. So be aware that that is what we're going to be, that's what we're going to be watching. And the winds, yeah, the winds already started to kick up. In fact, in Cool Branch, radars indicating winds of at least, so you're looking at possibly a 45 mile an hour wind gust right now, anywhere in town or in the surrounding areas of in town. In Feasterville, the winds have not picked up yet, although I do want to change one thing on the radar and see if that wind velocity has picked up yet. So getting over to Feasterville, winds aloft, so we're talking about 13. So the winds haven't kicked up yet. They will be soon. But again, this is what we're going to be watching. So again, a tornado warning still remains in effect. The current position right now is in Union County. But be aware, this is the area that we're watching. Let me put it back in velocity. This is the area that we're watching right now. It's on the doorstep of Cool Branch, moving to the east at about 50 miles an hour. Winds that will definitely be affecting areas of Feasterville and Cool Branch. And I think the National Weather Service just did an update. Let me check. No, they haven't. That was for others. There is scores of reports going out right now. Again, we're watching this storm, and as far as the hail size is definitely going down. But even with the hail size going down, and this is obviously more in the areas of Lawrence and Union County, you're still talking about possibly nickel-sized hail. This could be coming in, but the good thing is that notice where it is. that's an update of what happened. Don't see anything relative heading towards western Fairfield County, so that could be a really good thing. Outside of that, the winds are still prevalent. Strong winds that are moving through Cool Branch at this time right now, and winds in Feasterville should start picking up. Again, this is the area of concern that we are watching. This is the only area right now that we are watching in the Midlands, and the storm actually looks like it's moving a little bit more to the east-northeast, which would be great for Fairfield County. Put it right about there. If it holds its strength, so you're talking about possibly getting out of, at least as far as any possibility of tornadic circulation, looking at getting out of the area right off of Fairfield Road probably in about 20 minutes. Again, this National Weather Service will keep this tornado warning, and let me emphasize, it is a tornado warning. It is not a confirmed tornado, but nevertheless, this tornado warning continues until 5:30. As the National Weather Service and here at News 19, we have seen that the winds have been sustained around 50, could gust over 60, and has had a history of producing at least quarter-size hail. And that's what we're going to be watching, and now we have a new update. So this is a good sign. Newberry County, you are no longer in the tornado warning. The tornado warning now is strictly and solely for Fairfield County, even though there's one for Chester. This one is just for our viewing area. Update from the National Weather Service. Tornado potential of golf ball size hail moving to the east at about 50 miles an hour, located right near Carlisle. So there's the storm. It's turning very meteorologists would like to call it junky. It does not look very organized, which is a great thing. And with that disorganization, it could be falling apart and not have as much characteristics of a tornado. But nevertheless, it's already moving over Cool Branch right now. Should be moving over the extreme northern portion of Fairfield County on the county line in about 12 to 14 minutes. Wind speeds right now by radar, this is a really good sign. Wind sustained on radar 43 to 44. As far away from the radar, let me put this back here. I would estimate that the winds right now in Cool Branch are not 45. They could be gusting to 45 though. So winds coming into Cool Branch, depending on where you are in town. If you're on the east side of town, winds are coming straight out of the southeast, gusting up to 50. If you're on the west side of town, winds are coming out of the northwest gusting at about 45 to 50. This will continue to move off, and it's moving off at 50. It's moving quickly at 50 miles an hour. So if you are anywhere from Cool Branch to Fairfield Road, stay inside until the winds die down. This should move over you. If it's over you now, or it's about to be over you, give it at least 20-25 minutes. Just let it pass over. Because not only do we have winds and a possible tornado, there's not a lot of lightning, but there's enough lightning that's being indicated. But again, this is a storm. Ladies, right now, I don't see anything indicative that is going to be a concern right now. Although the winds are very strong, there might be hail and certainly heavy rainfall. This tornado warning will continue for another 11 minutes, another 10 minutes. I'll be watching it carefully, but right now, everybody who needs to be aware is aware. And at this point, that we're looking pretty good. I'm sorry, I missed that. Go ahead. Okay, but that's the one thing right now that we're watching very carefully. But ladies, right now, the tornado warning continues, where it's going to be windy, a lot of rainfall, torrential rainfall, and possible hail, although it's indicative right now that it's not showing. We're going to still be watching this, and if there's any updates on it, then we definitely will come back and let you know.
All right, thank you so much for the update. We are going to take a quick break, get to your news of the day right after this.